Springfield. This is On the Scene, and I'm Dominique. And here tonight we have Eddie Gumucio, and he's with Queen City Shout, and your event is coming up next week, right?
Yeah, starting Monday, running the whole week. We're promoting it as, well, QCS 2020, but QCS week. So we're going Monday through Sunday.
Oh, wow. Wow. So this is going to be a lot different than your past ones. Now, how long have you been doing this event?
This is actually our 10-year anniversary. So
10 years?
Yeah, we did the first 6 back-to-back out of Borders Bookstore Cafe when they were still around. Mm-hmm. And then it was dormant for 3 or 4 years before we brought it out into the city. Mm-hmm. So 10 years, but consecutively we had 6, and then it kind of fell asleep for a bit, and then we brought it out into the city. We've been up on C-Street. This would have been year 4 that we've been up on C-Street, and we're still working really hard to promote it as a C-Street event, even though people aren't physically going to be up there. We've got some things planned that we're tying it in with merchants and things that have to do with C-Street. So
yes, this is going to be different. It's all going to be online. And what is any of the venues going to be, broadcasting it on a screen or anything?
No, and I'll tell you, just from my own research, I've been telling a lot of people that have asked when we decided to switch to all virtual due to COVID and things going on. We didn't want to be, finger pointed as like a super spreader or something. So we're like, you know what? It just makes the most sense to do this virtually this year. But what I've been telling people is like it really feels like the first one ever, because we just not reinventing the wheel per se from logistics and all that, but just how it's going to play out. And I am not a tech savvy person. I'll be the first to tell you, but my creative that's been working with me, that's sort of giving the visual look to the whole thing, they've been great. And what we discovered was if we tried to do live streaming feeds from the Lindbergh's page, from the White River page, from Ruthie's page, you're getting into passwords, you're getting into allocating people as collaborators, admins. It seemed like a real nightmare. And so they only exist this year in name only. So some of them are actual sponsors, which are listed on the poster. And then some, like Q and Ateca, for example, they're just listed as a venue. Participating venues are just places that would have ordinarily had the music. The sponsors are more to do with businesses and venues that sort of have a financial or an in-kind interest with the festival. And so, anyway, to your question though, they're still there in all of our promotion, but the platform, the stages are going to be on the Queen City Shout platforms. So we have 2 stages instead of 6. Mm-hmm. And that's really why we ended up making it a whole week this year, because it was going to be a 4-day event. Last year it was 5 days. We were going to go back to just having it a 4-day event this year. But long term, I did see this being sort of a week-long event where we're promoting the arts, and we've got film and music all week long. So it just kind of happened sooner than expected. And really it was just from, instead of having 6 stages, now we have 2, but we still have 92 bands. And so we have to fit them in some way, somehow. So we're going Monday to Sunday. We're using the Queen City Shout page as one of the virtual stages. And then what we did have from the quarantine, we had the Queen City Shout open mic group, which we had some great success with this spring for about 2 or 3 months.
I watched those almost regularly. That was so awesome. I'm glad that you put that together. And I mean, I think it helped a lot of people get through quarantine because they miss playing, they miss watching, their favorite bands or their favorite musicians. So,
Yeah.
How is it going to be different than the open mic? How is Queen City Shout Festival going to be different than the open mic, or is it similar?
I mean, not really too different, Dominique. It's more, it's still that sort of DIY vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by that is we haven't set any expectations where like, you got to make sure your mix is great and you've got to have a fantastic background and it better sound like, top quality. That whole like Rolls Royce idea of things or fog machine and lighting type thing, I've never subscribed to anyway. I'm more like, let's grab a guitar and go. That's always been my mindset. But, someone who does that, who has the know-how with the production of using, OBS, I think is what it's called, or any of that software or interfaces and things like that. I mean, knock yourself out if you have the know-how. But I think that was a big thing that intimidated a lot of bands from wanting to even try this. And we're like, no, it's pretty much the same concept. If you want to play from your basement or your living room, knock yourself out. If you want to go into the studio, or if you're comfortable getting outdoors and playing an open air venue, you can stream from an open air venue. That's kind of where we're doing the tie-in with the C-Street merchants. Mm-hmm. So no one's required to, but anyone who feels comfortable beyond Lindbergh's, White River, Kirinateka, and Ruthie's, there are other merchants. We basically put a list out to all the acts and we said, hey, if you still want to have a connection to C Street and you're looking for some sort of left of center eclectic kind of place to go play at, these merchants are inviting you to come into their establishment and set up in the back room, set up on their, maybe they've got a top floor mezzanine or something like that, wherever. And we're not exactly encouraging acts to draw a crowd there, not promote it as an event, but at least to say, hey guys, I'm streaming from, the Pizza House, and the beer garden back here at the Pizza House and coming to you live, just to try to keep that connection to C Street still. But anyway, back to your point, or to your question, it's not going to really look that different other than we're actually using the Queen City Shout group. We've changed that name to the Queen City Shout group stage. Mm-hmm. So we've got the page stage and the group stage.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds like it's going to be very creative. I'm excited to see what these bands put together, like even at their own home, if they decide to have a background that makes it all crazy. So where are most of these bands out of besides Springfield?
We have a band from Chicago a songwriter from Chicago that's showcasing. We have a band out of Kansas City, a band out of Wichita, I think a couple of bands out of Fayetteville, one out of Fort Smith, a band out of Austin, Texas. So there's a band out of Columbia that's playing. But for the most part, Branson, Tulsa too, I believe. Yeah, there's a band from Tulsa. So, but mostly Springfield. I mean, of the 92 acts, I would say easily, 80 to 81 of them are from around this area. Yeah. Can
you name some of the local bands that you have? Obviously not all of them, but just,
Right. Well, I'll start with some veterans and some folks that have been around the scene as long as we all have. Molly Healy's playing. Mark Ballou and Cindy Wolf are playing at Creek Rocks. I know they're based out of Arkansas now, but they're playing. Brandon Moore is playing. Devlin Pierce. Random Strangers. Yeah. No, not Random Strangers. Sorry. Part-Time Travelers.
Yes, Part-Time Travelers. Love them.
Yeah, they're a favorite of mine. Mm-hmm. Wrong Kind of Robot. I think that's also one of his bands.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just runs the gamut. The majority of them I've seen live. Others I've just, heard their submission or whatever, and I'm like, wow, this sounds good. There's a band the band that's playing out of Wichita. They're a duo. They're a two-piece punk band.
Oh.
So they remind me a little bit of who's that two-piece band? Not White Stripes, but the two-piece band out of Cleveland. The two guys.
Oh, are you talking about? Oh God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Are you talking Black Keys?
Black Keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they kind of have that same kind of bluesy punk vibe.
Oh.
And so I'm excited to see them because I've never seen them live, but when I heard their music, I was just like, man, these guys are gonna rock.
Wow, that's so exciting. So,
Yeah.
Are there virtual tip jars? Where's the money going? Doesn't it usually go to a charity or?
Yeah, we have 7 nonprofits that we're working with, same as last year, and that's really the cornerstone of the event. We do this all for poverty relief, and normally the funds from the t-shirt sales, the wristbands at the door, or if someone bought a 4-day pass, all of that would go back to the nonprofits. This year, we decided to make it free. When we decided to transition to virtual, I had looked at some websites where you can actually lock it and people have to pay to get in. But because of the circumstances we're in, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that to people. It's like, let's just, we've been doing this for 10 years. Let's just make this one free, get people on board and have a good time. So we're running a GoFundMe fundraiser. The link is on the website. So if you go to queencityshout.com, there's a donate button right there that takes you to the GoFundMe site. And our goal is $15,000. We've had a soft opening as of like 2 weeks ago. We've promoted it a little bit, but we're really going to push it the week of the event. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we're doing in place of making it free. We're basically asking people to say, I mean, it is free, but please donate whatever you feel you can. Basically look at this whole week, either during the week or after the week, and make an assessment of like what you feel the value of what this entertainment was and make that contribution to help the nonprofits out. But the $15,000 isn't an arbitrary goal either. Last year we made just over $10,000, and granted that was in person. So I think it's a harder hill to climb this year, especially with the event being free, just trying to remind people that please go and donate. Think of that as your ticket in this year. But I'm confident that we can get there or get close to, hopefully.
Well, awesome. So it goes from 4:30 until what time every night?
Every night we're going to start roughly 4:30 till about 11. Saturday we start as early as I think 1 o'clock.
Wow.
And same for Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday, I mean, there'll be stuff going all day. Aside from the 92 acts, basically, if people are wondering about the schedule or who's playing where and when, the festival headquarters is queencityshout.com.
Okay.
So I would recommend that versus going to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and trying to find all these things, because if you go to the website, queencityshout.com, we've got it separated as music, art, and film. So you could click to the music page. It gives you the daily lineup. If you want to see this act, there's 2 columns. So if you click this Monday act, it'll take you to the Facebook page. If you click this one, it takes you to the Facebook group. We have an art page. We're partnering with Springfield Arts Council, Regional Arts Council. They have created a virtual art gallery for us. We had a lot of success with that last year at the Q-Inateca. And so we've got visual artists being represented. That's going to go live on Monday, and it'll basically be open 24/7. So it's not a schedule, really. You can just go check it out the whole week. the artists have their work for sale. 10% of the proceeds from their sales will go back to the nonprofits. And then we also have a film page, and we're showcasing, I think, 12 different films, including some Missouri State student films. And those will be through our YouTube channel. So if you go to queencityshout.com and go to the film page, you can find the individual films, read the little blurb about them. And we were going to have those on set schedules, but we decided, if someone misses it on a given day, let's just open that up. So the films are going to be like the art gallery, where if you click the film during that week at any time, it'll take you there and it'll start. But they will be pulled after the week. So it is in that sense, it really is a film festival where you can catch those things during the week of, and then we're going to pull them down.
Okay, awesome.
Two questions I have.
Oh, Adam has a couple questions. Why don't you come over here?
On the side.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Adam.
Good to see you. So, as your musical performers play, and they're live streaming, will that be recorded and immediately posted back? So, if you wanted to see one and missed another one because they're playing at the same time, you can, like, maybe the next day or later on, go back and view the other band too? Is that?
Yeah, I know that Instagram Live doesn't archive, and so part of the reason why we didn't use them as a platform for live music was due to that. So to answer your question, yes, they will be archived. And honestly, from a lot of the research I did over the summer, it seems like a lot of these live performances, they get a larger audience after the fact. So you may have 30 people watching your event, but then you look back a week later and you've got 400 and some views. It wasn't that in real time. So we definitely want to allow that. But that being said, I wanted to keep the festival vibe of people sort of having to sacrifice something, especially in the live moments. So I didn't consciously do it this way, but think of like on a larger scale, like if you were at a festival and you had Radiohead starting at 8 o'clock, and then, I don't know, maybe like Elbow starting at like 8:30, and you're like, which one do I sacrifice? So I like that element of it. But yeah, they'll be archived. The ones that play the group will be archived on the group page, and the ones that play on the Queen City Shout page will be archived on there. Okay. Unless the individual artist removes themselves, then we have no control over that.
Oh, that's true. And on the donation side, when someone donates to the tip jar, can they specify who they're donating? Say they're watching the Queen City Travelers or something, or whatever, the part-time Travelers, or Eddie Gumucio yourself is playing, and they want to donate, but they want to say they're donating because they're watching this particular performer or movie or art piece. Can they specify?
They can, because when I sort of set the verbiage out in the emails when I've been communicating with the artists and stuff, we don't want any of the tip jar or Venmo money, partly due to, not to make light of poverty relief this year, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of a gray area this year of what poverty relief is, just because there's been a lot of people that have been furloughed, lost their jobs, a lot of full-time musicians that aren't finding work. And so in some sense, that umbrella's gotten larger. And so other than the fundraiser that we're doing for the nonprofits that work with poverty relief, the artists are posting their own Venmos and their own PayPal accounts on their live stream. So if I were doing mine, it'd be like Eddie Gumucio, tip jar, and whatever money I got from that, I could keep, or I could say, hey, QCS, here's my money.
I see. So they're donating to Queen City Shout. They're donating to each individual artist, and then those artists will in turn donate back to the.
If they so choose, but that is not. I haven't even said in the verbiage to the artist. I haven't said, and then if you want, you can. just because, again, the circumstances we're in, I just feel like, you know what? You guys give your time to do this anyway. And I always use last year as an example, Adam. We had just under 90 acts last year. I think we had like 88 or 89, whatever. But every single one of them gave their $50 back because I give a $50 guarantee. So if you're Funk Tank and you're a 10-piece band, here's $50. If you're Barrack Hill, here's $50. Sorry, it doesn't work out. But not a single one took their money. And I mean, it's simple math. With that many bands times 50, that was a significant amount that we were able to give back to the nonprofits. So this year, I hope the fundraiser goes well for them, but with the tip jar and the Venmos and all that jazz, I'm just like, you guys, whatever you make, keep it. And if they feel inclined to. I already have some artists, to be honest with you, that have already made pretty significant donations to the fundraiser.
Oh, that's
even before this has started. So, I mean, I said this last year as well when I found out that nobody wanted their cash back. I was just like, man, it really just speaks to the heart of this community, the arts community, that these artists will come and do this and be like, I don't want $50, give it back, you know, because I know it means a lot to some of them who are doing this full time. So.
Very cool.
Well, I want to thank you, Eddie, for popping on here on Zoom to do a little interview.
Yeah,
always love to see what you got going on every year with the Queen City Shout. It's so cool that you have this, you know, that you put this on. And also excited to have you on our show again to talk about other stuff in just a couple of weeks. So, but yeah, thank you so much. And again, Springfield, it's next week, starting on Monday, going all week long, and starts at 4:30, ends at around 11, right?
Yeah.
Right on. And we'll definitely post a link to the webpage and do what we can on our side to get the word out. So thank you so much again. And we will see you again very, very soon.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.